The Direct. Why She-Hulk's review bombing is worse than Disney Plus's other Marvel shows. Oh. It's actually worse than these other shows. I have not seen most of Disney Plus's Marvel shows. I don't have time to waste on garbage TV. Of course, I could devote my channel to tearing these terrible, woke, anti-male, anti-white shows apart and maybe get more subscribers, more views. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you think that I should turn this into a Marvel review channel. General, just pop culture review channel, maybe. Let's dive into this article, but before we do, thank you all for stopping by. I do appreciate everybody supporting my work. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. Now let's get to what this Savannah Saunders has to say. Phase 4 of the MCU has introduced an impressive slate of new heroes and villains. But in terms of real-world MCU baddies, that title may belong to review bombers. Yeah, we're the worst. I've never review bombed anything. I've always given my honest opinion on things. Many of Marvel Studios' latest projects, such as The Eternals, which I've heard is total garbage, Moon Knight, which I've seen part of is not that good, and Ms. Marvel, which I never saw because I heard it was total garbage, have faced backlash from online reviewers due to culture of divisive content and representation. Wait a second. These shows have received backlash for divisive content? How dare they? How dare people respond to divisive content in a negative way? I mean, what did you expect them to do? You made divisive content. What the hell? Are you retarded when you write this stuff? And representation, I mean, it's... Yes, you said it right there. The word representation means you're putting these people into the show to represent, not as a natural outgrowth of the story, as a representation of these other minorities or different groups of people that we want to have in our show to show that, oh, look, we haven't forgotten about you. You're part of our culture. You're there. Mind you, when you do that, all you do is add fuel to the fire. The MCU's latest series, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, is no different. If anything, it's actually worse. Well, you made a show about an angry woman. That's what everybody wants to see. I know, I just can't wait for an angry woman to show up in my life. She-Hulk Attorney at Law is a half-hour legal comedy where Jennifer Walters, a lawyer and cousin to Bruce Banner, juggles her legal career and her newfound superpowered persona. Well, you made it a comedy, and it's a superhero show. I don't know. I mean, you can see over here on the side, there's an advertisement for Super Pets. That's probably a comedy, and people would let that slide, but you're dealing with an attorney who's angry and female and wants to deal with real-world issues like women getting murdered for having a difference of opinion. That's brought up in the show. We've all seen the clip. Sounds like it's all over the place to me. Anyway, back to the article. While the show's premiere was largely met with positive reviews, really, those were the review bombs right there. Those were the ones that are lying. She-Hulk's irreverent tone and brand of humor, coupled with its discussion of the differences between the male and female experience, spurred significant online conversation. Really, was it a discussion of the differences in the male and female experience? Or was it just women going, look, women have it worse than you because we're women. Don't you know? Now, just days after She-Hulk's debut, this first episode has become the latest victim of online review bombing, and it may be the worst case yet. She-Hulk tops Marvel review bombed shows. Are you sure those are review bombs or those aren't? I mean, those could be honest reviews. Furthermore, how do you know that the reviews that are saying it's great aren't the fake ones? I can pretty much guarantee you they are, because Rotten Tomatoes is a scam. And you look at this image here, you got this. I don't know who this actress is. Nothing against her as a person. I'm sure she's a fine individual. I find her to be unattractive. Maybe she's supposed to be like a Jill every woman. I don't want to look at her. I don't like her looks. This image right here in the center of She-Hulk looking concerned about something or confused, very unappealing as well. It looks like something out of The Munsters. I'm not joking. She looks like Frankenstein's monster. This over here is like the happy-go-lucky, fun She-Hulk. She-Hulk is supposed to be like a representation of the strength of women, the anger of women. What, I mean, how come she's like all fun-loving, happy She-Hulk? Doesn't make any sense. Along with Moon Knight, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lightyear, and Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk Attorney at Law is the latest Disney project to suffer from the trend of review bombing, with 31.9% of its reviews being 1 star on IMDb. Why isn't this not 100.9% of its reviews being 1 star on IMDb? Who are these people who think this is a good show? I haven't seen it. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's great. Maybe I'd watch it and love it. I doubt it, though. since I don't like anything else Disney does, so why would I like this? As of now, She-Hulk holds a higher percentage of one-star reviews than any other MCU Disney Plus series to date. For comparison, here's a look at the percentage of one-star reviews currently held by previous Marvel Studios Disney Plus shows. WandaVision, I saw that. It was pretty good. 2.2%. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, never saw it. 2.9%. Loki, I saw part of one episode. 1.5%. What If? I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what If is. Hawkeye, 1.5. Now, Hawkeye, interesting. I don't like Jeremy Renner. Don't like him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Got nothing against him as a person, but I don't like him as an actor. He doesn't fit. I don't see him fitting any of the roles that he plays. But he's on screen a lot these days. Moon Knight, it's got 4.1, and Ms. Marvel's 19.9. So second place behind She-Hulk is Ms. Marvel. The shows featuring these goofy female superheroes that are super-powered individuals that are a representation of female empowerment. Imagine that. Imagine that. You go woke, you go broke. Well, the difference between She-Hulk's one-star reviews and those of its predecessors is significant. It's not the full picture, really. As of now, She-Hulk has only released one episode. All the other Disney Plus shows have released full seasons, and their stats have adjusted over time. For instance, while Ms. Marvel's one-star reviews currently make up 19.9% of its total reception, the show's debut episode on IMDb generated a considerable number of one-star reviews as well, equating to 28.7%. The same can be said for Moon Knight, whose premiere episode with its reference to the Armenian genocide was review bombed with one-star reviews equaling 13.7%. Now, are you blaming that low rating on the Armenian genocide? Is it actually the result of that? Is it the result of the show not being good in general? As She-Hulk continues its 9-episode run on Disney Plus, the series' stats are expected to shift. However, the fact remains that Attorney at Law's review bombing, why didn't you call it She-Hulk Attorney at Law? Why all of a sudden drop the She-Hulk part of it? Has been worse than its MCU predecessors, and the shows which have borne the brunt of attacks have been the most recent and starred female superheroes. Imagine that. People don't want to see women who don't actually have any problems claiming they have problems. Jennifer Walters is a successful attorney. So, yeah, she's got so many problems. So she gets catcalled in the streets. That's terrible. It's just the worstest thing ever, don't you know? She-Hulk's online reviews are news, but what isn't is what a review should actually be, which is an assessment of a project as a whole and often separate from one's personal opinions, interests, and views. Yeah, they could backtrack the feminism in the show. They could be like, oh, I learned my lesson. I was a stupid feminist before. I'm not a stupid feminist anymore. I'm actually intelligent and realize that men have issues too, and their issues are worse than the issues of women on average. This well-known fact has done little to stem reviewing bombing, actually. Oh, that's good copy editing there. However, and given recent incidents relating to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and now She-Hulk, it appears to be a growing trend. Still, there are a number of reasons why She-Hulk has resulted in the worst review performance to date for an MCU series. In addition to drawing criticism for its CGI, She-Hulk's promotional campaign made no secret of the fact that this series is a comedy with humor geared towards adults, so a lot of dick jokes. That's what I'm going with, a lot of dick jokes. As far as the CGI, I know a lot of people complain about the CGI not being good enough, not being up to standard. I can see that it's fake. I don't like it. It's stupid. It's terrible. Whatever. I get over that stuff. I look at shows for the story. If I want to see a pretty picture, I can go to an art museum any day of the week. The movie Willow, remember, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's actually a good story. The thing is, the special effects in a lot of them are garbage. It's just the monsters are superimposed a lot. Like, it's really obvious they're not in that world. But it's about the story. It's not about the CGI. If that's important to you, might want to check your priorities. Given the mixed reception of Marvel's Phase 4 thus far, She-Hulk's lackluster CGI was another point against the studio's handling of its latest projects, and one that was hard to ignore. As for it being a comedy, it is true that humor, sarcasm, and irreverence have also been part of the MCU, Tony Stark, anyone, but the universe itself has always been rooted in reality in order to make unbelievable things believable. Now, you notice I'm saying MCU. Tony Stark is not part of the MCU. Tony Stark is part of the Marvel Universe. And we don't mind men being sarcastic. We do mind women being sarcastic. Don't know why, but we don't like it. For some, too much comedy undermines this carefully crafted, interconnected universe that, in recent years, some have felt has become a little too humorous and more disconnected. I suppose that's right. I mean, if it seems silly, we're not going to like it. We're not going to want to have it. Also, She-Hulk's brand of adult humor and use of mature, albeit comedic situations have also been problematic for families and those with younger MCU fans. But even though the series has a number of elements working against its broad appeal, the premiere episode also dealt with the differences between men and women, the struggles women face, and how that affects being a Hulk. You're right. Catcalling is a serious problem for women. Everybody stop catcalling women. It is almost akin to, harming them physically. It's almost the same thing. Just be very careful. Do not catcall women. Another thing is having your area of expertise explained to you by a man who knows more than you. That's terribly disrespectful to women. Please don't do that, even though you know more than them, even though you are more informed and have worked at this job longer than them. Do not explain their area of expertise for them. It's the same thing as hurting them physically. How fans receive this particular proclaimed woke narrative dominated online conversation in ways that were both constructive and misogynistic. Of course, they were constructive and misogynistic because misogyny is nothing but constructivity.
It's a perfectly cromulent word.
But given how prior MCU reviews bombings were related to culture, political, and social and societal opinions, there's no doubt that misogyny played a significant part in She-Hulk's blitzkrieg of one-star reviews. Yes, right. So you would call me a misogynist because I say, women should stay home and raise the children. Not that women have to. Men can do it, but somebody has to raise our children. And in our society, we've developed a culture that says, let's give our children to strangers and let them raise them while we go off and pursue our careers. Yay! Because we have to have equality. It will certainly be interesting to see how She-Hulk fares throughout its 9-episode run on Disney+, particularly when the show's promised cameos appear. In the meantime, it's safe to say that Attorney at Law will continue to spark conversation through its study of Jennifer Walters' experience, while also allowing the audience to study its own perception and reception of what Marvel Studios is choosing to explore. Let's go see what Rotten Tomatoes says. Rotten Tomatoes says, hey, look, the tomato aggregator says it's 87%. That's pretty good. I find that to be hard to believe. The average audience score is 73. Here's the Sioux City Journal. He's a sanctioned reviewer. I'm sure he has only wonderful things to say about it. Let's go to all audiences. A half a star. I can't read that. I don't speak that language. A half a star. I don't speak that language here. 1.5 stars. A sloppy misfire. Sounds about right. Half a star. This show was so cringy and it just started. Yep, half a star. I was surprised how cartoony the effects were for She-Hulk while regular Hulk looked fine. Was this made for the Looper guy that killed Star Wars? Seems like Phase 4 of the MCU is a disaster. The Looper guy did not kill Star Wars. Jar Jar Abrams killed Star Wars. This is a well-known fact. Unfortunately, I don't know why people don't accept that fact, but they don't. Bad CGI. Wait, why do you care about the CGI so much? Oh, here's a 5-star review. What do you know? A half star. There's no plot, just cringe scenes. Yep, sounds about right. Did the people who made this even read or like She-Hulk? No, of course they didn't. Are you insane? Do you think these people actually read the source material? If so, why is she nothing like the character that already existed? Breaking the fourth wall isn't what made She-Hulk great. This is the serious letdown. Well, you realize that you're just lucky that the actress playing She-Hulk actually has light-colored skin and brown hair. She's not like some sort of disabled lesbian black woman or something like that. Another half star. Yes, it's rotten. It's not a half star. It's not 5 stars. Okay. That was weird. It was looking forward to She-Hulk. Unfortunately, I got a Mary Sue with no character build up and an embarrassment for original Hulk. Yep. Was hoping for more. Hopefully improvement is made. Thanks. What did I just watch? They're complaining about CGI. The spaceship appears out of nowhere, and there is only a half attempt to explain it. Oh, that sounds great. It's rotten and cringe. Not good. Did not do She-Hulk justice. Okay, so what I find... Can you go back to all critics here? No. We're going to have to go back this way. 87%. What I find is I tend to be contrary to what the popular opinion is on these things. Not always. But if the popular opinion here, the average tomato meter is saying it's 87%, that's pretty good for a movie. That's pretty good for a show. I'm guessing it's probably a 17%, something more like that. If I have time, like I said, I'm probably going to have time in October. So if I have time, maybe in October, I can sit down and watch this. What are they doing? One episode a week, so that's like 5 weeks away. All right, I might have some time to see 6 episodes of this show and then review it and tell you how bad it is. But until then, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get to watch it, and that's fine. There's so much that's coming out these days. I might make the time to watch that House of Dragons thing to see how bad that is and review that. I don't know if it's going to be bad. Maybe it's going to be good, and then I'll be like, oh, well, I wasted time watching that, and I'm not going to get anything out of it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.